Y'all already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. So yesterday we did the story on some of the dumbest, most stupid people I've met. Ran across things I had seen while locked up, which got me to thinking about some of the most disgusting and nasty things I've seen take place while locked up. Did a part one on this maybe a year ago, somewhere around that. But when I really dug into my mental's Rolodex, I looked back into my head and thought back on years and specific times and things that just churned my stomach, things that were utterly disgusting, things that a lot of y'all might not have a stomach for. A bunch of different things popped into my head. Today, you have the pleasure of sharing everything that popped into my head. Today, you have the pleasure of reliving what I have to relive mentally today by telling all you guys these stories. So, without further ado, nastiest things I saw happen, things that happened while locked up. I know I done seen it. I know I done lived it. So let's relive it. So if you watch the channel, you know that I worked maintenance when I worked in the prison. That was my job. It was a highly sought after job. It was a job that you had to have a brain to be able to do. You had to be good with your hands. You had to be mechanically inclined. You had to know how to all around fix things of all natures. You had to be good with electrical. And when I say mechanical, the doors were on this track system with these motors and these gears. So you had to know mechanics. You had to know plumbing. There was a lot that goes into it. You had to know welding, brickwork, tile work, a lot of different things. We did a lot of plumbing. The way things are set up is if you flush something down your toilet, on the back side of your toilet, there is a cast iron pipe that both cells, on the cell beside you and your cell, both of y'all's connect into this cast iron pipe. All the cells in there tie into one big cast iron pipe, and that's where everything that goes in those toilets goes. There are 43 cells in each pod. A pod being a place where you live, where the cells are located. They call it a pod. It's like a big room, but with doors everywhere and cells. There are 4 pods per building. 2 men per cell. 43 cells in each pod. Multiply that by 2, multiply that times 4. You have 344 men in a building. 172 toilets. If you flush something down your toilet that wasn't supposed to be there, there was a utility closet door, metal. Guard had a key. The maintenance man had a key, being my boss. On the back side of your toilet, where there's 2 pipes connected into that one pipe, there was a thing you unscrew called a clean out. And there was a hook shoved up in there, a security hook, so that if you flush something you're not supposed to flush, when it goes down, this hook would catch it. So the guards could go up in there and get whatever you had flushed. Well, over time, I'll be the first to admit it, the hook started coming up missing. We would go work on somebody's toilet, something would be clogged up, disgusting, terrible job, that part of it. And dudes would be like, hey, get that hook out of there, man, so I can flush things. Like, some people thought the penitentiary toilet was like a garbage disposal. You could throw anything in it, right? Then you had dudes that would have phones, and if the guards come, they got to make it disappear, and they don't want the hook to grab it. So we make sure the hooks made their way up out of the, the plumbing. I did this for many years. Maintenance was something I enjoyed doing. It has helped me get to where I'm at today with construction. A lot of the stuff I did then, I do day to day owning a construction company, right? I get woke up out my sleep one night, and it's not by a guard. It's not by my cellmate. It's because of the sound of splashing water. I live on the very bottom floor. There's a whole section of cells above me. Then there's another pod above that with 2 more layers of cells all the way up top. So it's basically, you could say, 4 tiers split into 2 different pods. I wake up and my toilet is overflowing everywhere. I look and it's not just water, it's toilet tissue. It is everything that you don't want no parts of. It's everything that when you put in the toilet and you flush it, you expect to leave. I can't even get off my bunk because this stuff has been running in the floor for a minute now. And when it started, it wasn't like a little bloop bloop. No, we're talking gallons and gallons and gallons of septic water coming out of my toilet and hitting the floor and covering the floor to where if you step in it, it's going to cover your feet and it's just raw sewage. So I step off my bunk onto the stool, onto the other stool. I step up on top of the sink. Now the sink is starting to flip up and I'm trying to yell out the door to the guards. Well, to the control booth to get the guards' attention. By now, other people's toilets are starting to flood. This is disgusting. We have every single cell on the bottom tier, which is 21 cells in my pod. The toilets are just spewing like Old Faithful, blowing stuff out, right? Somebody else gets the guard's attention. I guess they're not concerned with stepping in this stuff. I am. Guard comes over to my cell and is like, Williams, you need to get up. I'm already up. I'm standing on top of the sink looking at him. He's like, what are you doing on the sink? I said, man, do you see this? Like, this is crazy, man. I feel like I'm on the Titanic. I said, open my door, man. Open my cell door. So he radios the booth. Hey, open Williams' cell 20. They open my cell. At the time, we had these boxes that you could put your commissary in. This real hard plastic box. I take the box and I slide it over near the door. I step off onto the box. I've got my boots on at this point. I put my prison boots on. Now I got fully dressed. And I tell the guard, I said, look, y'all got to give me some new boots after this, man. This is disgusting. He's like, all right. So I step on out. The stuff is all over the side of my boots. What's going on, Williams? What's wrong? And I'm good with these type of things. I'm a smart dude, and I know construction. I said, we got a main backup. He's like, what does that mean? I said, something's in the main pipe. And now everything that's anytime somebody flushes upstairs, it's not able to pass through this main pipe and go to where it's supposed to go. So now every time somebody's flushing their toilet, it's coming down, it's hitting the blockage, and the only place it can come up is to the next opening, and that's every toilet on the bottom tier. It doesn't take long. It overpowers the first set of toilets. Now the top tier toilets are now starting to spew. So now the bottom tier is all flooded with poop. Now we've got poop rolling off the top tier above my cell like a waterfall, splashing in this L shape around this top tier. It's just pouring everywhere, and dudes are screaming, oh my God, this is like the hepatitis of Old Faithful. Like, this is just beyond what you can imagine when it comes to disgusting, right? What do we need to do? What do we need to do? They're panicking. They're panicking. The drains in the middle of the pod are spewing septic everywhere. I said, you need to get me over to the maintenance shop, man. I need to go over to the maintenance shop and get the maintenance cart, and I need to get the snake now. All right. I said, I need to get in the basement, and I need to shut off the water to the entire building. The water's got to be cut off. You can't cut the guy's water off. They're going to continue to flush the toilet upstairs, because way up there, they don't know we're having this going on downstairs. Their toilets are just fine because everything they're flushing is coming up down here, right? I know a lot of y'all probably ain't savvy with the maintenance talk, construction talk, but just bear with me now. It gets worse. So we go over to the maintenance shop. I get the cart with all my tools on it. We go to another pod. I get another guy that works with me and get the cart. We get the snake, and the snake is about this big around, and we have hundreds and hundreds of feet of this stuff. This is an industrial snake machine. This thing, if you grab it wrong, you got to wear gloves and you use it. It'll rip the gloves off. It'll rip your fingers off. It'll break your wrist. You got to know how to use this machine. It's got a handle you push back and forth. I start by trying to do it through the drain that's in the middle of the floor, but the snake isn't making the bend. It will not make the bend to go down in there, and this thing spins. It's got a little hook on it, and it'll grab whatever's in the pipe, and then you push reverse, and it pulls the snake back out the pipe, and it pulls whatever the clog is with it, right? I shouldn't have went and got this particular dude. This dude is a know-it-all. He's only been working about maybe 6 months, and a lot of what he knows, he's learned from me. I've taught him. You do not know as much as me. Not for me to sound like a know-it-all. These are just the facts of the matter. I've been working this job in this prison for many years now. I know this prison like the back of my hand. When something goes wrong, I'm that dude next to a guy named Solo that was up there. I'm that guy that knows this prison, the ins and outs of it, have been all over it. He keeps trying to get the snake to go down there. I said, it's not going to make the bend, man. The bend's too sharp. The snake is too big. It's not going to make the bend. We have to go somewhere else and do it. We start opening up all the closets in between the cells, every single door, until I find the main pipe that all of these tie into, right? We find it, and I tell him, we need to pop that clean out. And to clean out, the pipe runs vertically. The clean out is this thing. There's a picture of it. On the front, it's got a cap that you can unscrew from this cast iron pipe. And if you need to, you can run the snake down it, and it goes all the way through the system until it hits the septic. We have hundreds of feet of snake. I'm sure we will, you know, if we get this cap off, be able to clean it out and get the clog from there, right? I'm over there, and this thing hasn't been taken off in so long that it's rusted shut. I've got a big-ass plumber's wrench on it, and I've got it, you know, pushed down. It's not moving. It's seized up. So I take this small sledgehammer, and I'm hitting it, and the cap starts to turn. It's a slow process, and as I'm hitting it, water's starting to dribble out. This thing is about, I don't know, waist high off the ground. Maybe a little bit lower. I tell Will, I'm like, you need to back up when this comes off, man. This thing's under a lot of pressure. He's like, I got it. And he's like over my shoulder, so I'm like, it's going to be a learning experience for Will. Did I know what was going to happen? Yeah, I knew what was going to happen. Did I warn Will about what was going to happen? Yes, I warned Will about what was going to happen. What's going to happen is, when you take that plug off right there, the pressure from all these toilets being flooded and all the water coming from upstairs is going to blow this thing off, and everything in that pipe is going to come shooting out. I mean, with the force of, like, you ever seen a fire hydrant on the street, like open in the summertime and kids playing in it? If you haven't, maybe you've seen it on a movie or something, but that's something I've seen. When this thing comes off, it's going to have the force of a fire hydrant spraying water, dirty water, poop water, pee water, anything you can imagine. People flush down the toilet, food, everything, all that's coming out, right? Will gets down there and he's banging on it. Bong, bong, bong. I said, Will, you need to watch out, man. When that thing decides to come off, man, I know what I'm doing, man. I still got a minute before it comes off. I'm looking. These things don't have a lot of threads on the cap, and the water's starting to gush out the bottom now, right? No sooner than Will's like, man, I know what I'm doing. He turns the pipe wrench. Cap comes off. Boom! Hits him in the shoulder. I'm sure that hurt, but that wasn't the worst of it. If the cap hit him in the shoulder, where do you think everything else went? In a matter of seconds, this man looked like a walking poop emoji. He's already a black dude, you know, medium complexion, maybe, you know, light brown skin. Had on a white t-shirt, pair of blue jeans, brown state boots. He legitimately looked like he had just jumped in front of a fire hydrant as a kid playing in the summertime, but the water was brown. I'm standing off to the side. He's done, the pressure's done knocked him backwards, and this water is just squirting out of this pipe. All the septic from all these cells at one time comes rushing out of this pipe. Will's blown back. He's on his back. There is whole entire poops, Mr. Hankies, flying out the toilet, hitting Will, right? I'm standing off to the side. The water's gushing out. I ain't got a drop on me. Mr. Know-It-All knew it all, right? Disgusting. We went on to snake it. After that, Will freaked out. I mean, completely freaked out. Ran straight to the shower, stripping his clothes off as he's running to the shower, trying to get these pooped clothes off. Ain't got to change of clothes or nothing. The guard goes over, you know, gets him some more clothes from where they have the clothes at and stuff. Brings him back some clothes. Will doesn't want to work no more. I get them to get another dude out of cell to help me. Eventually, we pull a shank out the pipe. Somebody upstairs had flushed it for whatever reason. It went down in the pipe. And when it got to a certain point and it was supposed to make that bend to drop, the shank got stuck. Toilet paper backed up on the shank. Hence is the major backup. You want to talk about a black dude turning white? It's possible. When he realized it was too late to get out the way, when he realized he was already drenched, and when I mean drenched, like I'm talking toilet tissue stuck to his face, whole entire chunks of what everybody never wants to be touched with, stuck to his skin, Will looked like he was going to faint. Will turned whiter than I am, if you can imagine it. It's possible. And took off to the shower, man. That was definitely one of the most, not going to say disturbing, because I've seen disturbing things, disgusting and unexpected things I saw during my time. Lifting weights while in the penitentiary goes hand in hand. You're going to be in prison. You want to pass time. You want to deal with the pent-up anger you got, the frustration of not being able to help nobody in the real world, the frustration of what goes on day to day. You want to be strong, physically fit, in a position to where you and the next man, if y'all get to fighting or y'all get to wrestling in a cell during a fight, you want to be strong enough that you can overpower him or at least hold your own. And lifting weights, you're going to hit harder. You're going to become stronger. Lifting weights in prison and the penitentiary has been around probably as long as prisons have been around. I love lifting weights when I was in prison. I don't lift weights no more. I don't do prison things. Not saying it's a prison thing. I just don't do it because it reminds me so much of prison. But I got really, really strong. Didn't happen overnight. Took a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of time. And I got to where I could lift a lot of weight. I got to where I could bench 315 pounds and I could, clear it myself and work out with it. That's a lot of weight. If anybody says 315 ain't anything, you've never really lifted weight or you're just huge. 315 is a lot of weight. Especially for my frame at the time. Because of lifting this weight, I've got, rotator cuff injuries. From deadlifting, I've got, lower back injury. It doesn't really bother me that much, but it's there. So don't think that, that's going to stop me from doing anything. I overcome anything I put my mind to. But that's what we would do. We lift weights. I was religious to the lifting weights. Every time that door opened and we had the weight pile, I'm on that weight pile. Now, we would rotate. Sometimes we wouldn't get it until lunch, but we got it every single day. And when we got it, I was out there. I'd take one day off a week. A lot of dudes lifted weights. My cellmate lifted weights. My cellmate was black dude, 6'2". I'm not going to put his name out there today because this is another one of those embarrassing stories. Bald-headed black dude, good-sized dude. Always thought that whatever I could do, he could outdo me on. I've been lifting weights for a while. He's like, man, I'm going to start working out with y'all. And I hated to be like this, but I had a workout crew. A set amount of guys that I worked out with. So with me having a workout crew, you can't just jump on the crew. You can't. We got the max amount of guys that for all workout that we can have. Another guy is going to make it just that much longer until I get back on the bench. It's going to give my body that much more of a rest, and I don't need that much of a break in between my turn to lift, right? So I tell him, nah, man. I said, I can coach you and teach you what to do. But you can't get on our crew, man. We've already got a squad of dudes, just like 3 or 4 of us, and that's the max amount of numbers we let on. Maybe one day, if somebody doesn't come out or something, you can get with us. But as long as we're all there, you can't get on with me. Man, that's what's up. That's what's up. I'll find a squad. I'm like, all right. So he comes out there, and you got some guys that are kind of antisocial. You got scragglers that come and go. And this weight pile, we call it the weight pile because it's a big concrete slab with weight benches, squat racks, curl bars, all these different weights sitting everywhere. All these different type of weight machines, benches, deadlift racks, squat racks, clean press racks. There's all these different racks out there with weights. And at this point in time, the weights weren't welded yet, because old Squish, dude I talked about in the past, hadn't been smashed with a 45-pound plate yet, right? They would later go on and we would weld the weights together, so anytime you came out there, all the weight was already on one bar. If your ass wasn't strong and you couldn't lift what was out there, go ahead and get outside the gate before they locked you in there, right? My celly comes out there. Like I said, he's a big dude, but he's not stronger than me. He thinks since he's bigger than me that he's stronger than me, but I've got more muscle mass than he does. He tries to get up underneath the 315 one day, and I can see he can barely break it. He can barely get it off the rack, and his elbows are shaking. He's got his arms in instead of with his elbows, you know, the way they should be. And I tell him, nah, man, nah. I got it. He lets it down and can't get it back up. So I go over there and I lift the weight up and I rack it back. I'm like, bro, you'll kill yourself. Stop trying to think you can do everything, man. There's levels to this shit. You got to build up to it, right? So he gets with some smaller weight, finds him a little squad of dudes, and they get their workout on, right? We would be in a cell doing push-ups, benching, like doing dips off the side of the bunk, dips off the counter, dips off the edge of the toilet. He got big into working out, and he started to get strong real fast. He already had the size. But I told y'all, this dude would always try to outdo me. And as he started getting strong, I could see it coming. I'm like, yeah, he's got the genetics for it. He's already big. It won't be long, and he'll be able to lift what I'm lifting and more. With me being a small dude, it takes longer for me to get to, you know, the next level. Like I said, there's levels to this shit. Some people are built like that and can level up faster than others. He's one of the black dudes that had the genetics just to be big. He was born big. He's a big man. We're out there on the weight pile one day, and it just so happens I was big into doing legs. So for the first hour, all we do is our back. We're doing deadlifts, all these different routines to work your back. Everything goes great. And like I said, I didn't like the look that a lot of guys had with having the skinny legs on the bottom. We call them chicken legs. You know, chicken's all big on the top, and it's got these two little twigs. There's a lot of dudes in prison like that because all they're concerned about is how big their arms are, how big their chest is, how big their shoulders are. So they walk around with these little toothpick legs, right? Big on the workout routine when it comes to the legs. We get over there and we're squatting. We start off with a medium weight, a 315. Like I told you at the time, you can still add plates. And we work our way up. So here we are. We're squatting this weight. Boom. It's got what you got what's called the bucket. There is no bucket. It's just the form you're supposed to take when lifting weights. You keep your back. You squat all the way down till your butt almost touches the ground. And then you push all the way back up, just using your thighs, with the weight sitting on your shoulders, and you're stretched out with your arms holding the bar. We do our leg routine. I'm tired. Legs and back in the same day. Bro, I'm tired. Big tired, right? Super tired. My celly comes over there, sees the weight we got there, and it's like, I can push that. Like, man, that's nothing, man. My legs are big. I guarantee I could squat that no problem. I said, nah, bro, you need to warm up. Like, that's not a weight you just want to jump under and start trying to squat all of a sudden. You're tripping. I can squat it, man. You got me messed up. Y'all think I'm weak or something. I'm like, yo, bro, nobody's calling you weak, and we're the same age. You know what I mean? I think I was in my 30s at this point, my early 30s. He's like, man, I got this shit, no problem at all. I said, all right, we'll see. He goes over there, gets under it, stands up with it, backs out the squat rack, squats down, all the way to the ground, and he starts pushing. He's pushing with everything he's got, and he's slowly getting his weight back up. Boom, he stands all the way up with it. I'm like, damn, shocked me. I didn't expect that to happen, right? I didn't think there was no way. Even though he struggled with it, I didn't think there was no way he could squat the same weight I just did. He drops down a second time. Boom. Pushes with everything he got. Oh, stands back up with it. I said, okay. You got this. Yeah, so he thought. We were doing sets of 5, sets of 10, depending on how much weight you could squat. He thinks he's going to do the same amount of number as us. He struggled on them first two. I watched him struggle on those first two. I knew in watching this, he's going to do one or two things. He's going to hurt himself, or some way or another, he's going to drop the weight. He's going to fall backwards. Now, he's got the weightlifter's belt on. One of my homeboys is standing over there behind him, and you stand behind the person, and you hold, like, their hips. There's nothing gay in it. You hold them so if they lose balance, if they need help standing up, you can kind of guide them up. And then you got the big leather weight belt on, right? He's on his third rep, and he's pushing with everything he can. And dude behind us is going, come on, you got it. You got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. Well, he's got these little gray shorts on. Y'all know where I'm going with this. These are small shorts. I'd have never wore those shorts outside. He got them from somebody. He shouldn't have been in them. They showed off damn near half of his thigh. He's pushing, he's pushing, he's pushing. And then all hell breaks loose. Shit gets real fast. As he's trying to stand up and he's pushing with everything he can, whoosh, this man shits everywhere. And I'm not talking about like a poop fell out. I'm talking like his stomach was messed up. He had pushed so hard, everything in him had become just a liquid. Nothing solid about what happened. And just like that, boom, he shits everywhere. Guys are, oh man, what the? The dude behind him completely let go because this stuff just hit the ground, hit his shoes, hit the guys behind him shoe, and now he's struggling with the weight. So I run over to one side of the bar. I'm not going behind him. Another dude runs over the other side of the bar, and we lift it up and we re-rack it, right? He's standing there, he's like, and he's holding his stomach. He's sweating. I'm like, you all right? And he's like, man, like, and you can see the embarrassment in his face, but he's trying to play it off like it's pain, like he ruptured something in his stomach or something, which I knew is possible, but that's not what happened. Oh man, I hurt my stomach. Oh man, I hurt my stomach. He's trying to distract everybody from the fact that he just shit all over the weight pile, just shit all over himself, and it is now a shitty situation, right? Yeah, man. It was another maybe 30 minutes before they came out there and opened that cage up. Everybody gravitated away from him and over towards the gate. You know what I mean? Kind of like we didn't let Rudolph play in our games no more. He stood over on the other side of the fence just like waiting for the guard to come. Opened up the, the weight pit so we could go back inside our buildings. Rec is over. We get inside the pod and I told him, hey, just go straight to the shower, man. Don't even go in the cell. Like, don't come nowhere near the cell. I will go get everything you need to take a shower with out the cell. I always try to tell you, you might want to listen to somebody that's already doing the things that you plan on doing, whether it be lifting weights, whether it be crime, whatever. I always try to teach y'all. I say each one teach one, each one reach one. I always try to share my experiences. And the moral of that story is, we don't all know everything. If you get into something, no matter what it is in life, and there's somebody else that's been doing it much longer than you, you might want to listen to them. You might want to pay attention. You might want to hear what they got to say. Or you might just get shitted on. So as you know, it is Friday. That means it is payday. I could have made the video a lot longer. I appreciate everybody that sat through that video. I know that was a rough one. I promise I won't hit y'all with nothing that rough for a while. But that's just the truth of the matter on some of the things that, you're going to see in a 10-year period. Some of the things I saw in a 10-year period, dealing with maintenance, dealing with lifting weights and hard-headed dudes. Both stories, neither one of them dudes had to deal with that shit. Literally. But neither one of them listened, and it put them in the position to be starred in today's stories. So you already know, man. These institutions, these jails, these prisons, these facilities, they're all just crazier worlds inside of this already crazy world we live in. And y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And as always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, Because y'all still watching me. Y'all know how we do, man. Salute.